Hey Scorpio, your November tarot reading is ready. I'm Eleanor. Welcome to Pink Pearl Tarot. I'm trying a little bit of a different layout, so let me know if you feel like it flows a little better than the other one. I have your theme for the month, and then your week-to-week forecast are these columns. So 4 weeks for the month of November, career and finance up here, and then love over here, and then I have a theme, like an affirmation for the end. Or not theme, bonus affirmation at the end. So your theme for November is blue Lorriane. I don't know. It's a mushroom. It says discovery and unknown. So the one thing you can do for yourself this month is to, whatever degree you are capable, surrender expectations and be open for whatever comes your way. You're kind of moving into uncharted waters in your life, and it looks like you might not have any precedent on which to generate expectations anyway in some cases. For some of you, this is taking you out of your comfort zone. So allow for things to work out better than you imagined. Allow for no's to be gifts right now. Week 1, you have the Wheel of Fortune with the Sun. So while the Wheel of Fortune can be a chaotic energy depending on where you position your perspective, the Sun at least says that everything will be visible and non-mysterious. It's almost carnival-like in its joyous and yet random kinetic energy. So with surrendering expectations, I'm sure that you're aware that it's impossible to tickle yourself, right? So like the brain anticipates it and the response isn't that same giddy feeling. So allow yourself the element of giddy surprise. Not knowing at all what's going to happen is the only way to be surprised. And this says literally anything can happen. With a theme like discovery and unknown, they're like, what did we say? Less foresight is more this month, because trying to anticipate and act on that anticipation could put you right where you don't want to be. It's like Neo, like maybe he wouldn't have broken that vase if the oracle hadn't said anything, right? Week 2, you have the Five of Pentacles with the Page of Pentacles reversed. And so there's a sense of needing to prepare to make a decision or to begin a process and then feeling lacking in what you need to do so. It's like, Spirit, if you won't tell me what to expect, I don't know what my first step should be. And so you could feel a little frustrated or uncomfortable in the dark and feel at a disadvantage because of it, or maybe left behind in a way, left out. And that doesn't necessarily indicate that you have to do something blind. That would be the Fool, and that is not here. You could take it as a sign that now isn't the best time to begin the process at all. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe you haven't gathered all that you're going to need yet. Maybe the foundation isn't dry or solidified. It's like you're asking, where in this unfertilized soil should I plant my seed? Wrong question, right? Better ask what you need to do to prepare the ground. So I see this little eucalyptus sprout, and I'm thinking patience. You're on the right track. You just need to ask the right question next. Week 3, you have the Page of Cups reversed with the Three of Wands. Now, the Three of Wands is a future-facing card, an energy of anticipation, exactly what your theme is trying to kind of help you chill out on for a little while. Something is trying to be offered, but you might be looking for something too specific, and so you would miss it if it comes in an unexpected package. The Page of Cups has curiosity and wonder and faith in the unseen world. Everything is still possible. So in reverse, is there a cynicism or an I'll see it when I believe it, or I'll believe it when I see it feeling? This combination invites you to reverse that reasoning. It'll appear when you believe. And in that open mindset, you can surrender that picture that you're trying to match in your head, and then the net widens considerably for your desire to be met in 1,000 different ways. Week 4, you have the Ten of Pentacles with Justice. And so think balance in the long term, an aggregate lifetime balance, not an oscillating thing that has to be kept stable at all times. Does that make sense? There's a pendulum always swinging. And like that Wheel of Fortune, if you bind yourself to it, things can get thrown out of proportion. You're always on the up and on the down and being kind of tossed around by it. So don't trip about the water drawing away from the beach because it's coming back in a wave soon anyway. The only true downward spiral happens when you can't let go of something that is going down. They say let go or get dragged. So in time, it does all balance out, and the net effect of your life is not determined by one great or one bad decision that will balance out all of the rest. Same reason they say not to check your mutual fund every day, right? Or so I've heard. I don't invest, but these things, it's a long-term thing. You don't look at the little ups and downs every day. So trust the process, trust yourself, and allow that upward spiral. For career and finance, you have the Seven of Swords with the Tower. Hiding or withholding information or data makes Swiss cheese out of something, and it will fall under its own weight eventually if it is built that way. The Tower brings down anything that provides a false sense of security, not well-built things that are standing in integrity. So anyone building a safety net full of information gaps will find out eventually that it was never structurally sound. So your best bet is to move more slowly, brick by brick, metaphorically speaking. Cross all the T's, dot all the I's. Better to be turned down for something that you don't qualify for than to get it and then find out later you have to pay it all back, plus a fee, right? So don't be afraid to ask the hard questions of others either. Like if you're applying for a job, ask your real questions, not just your pick-me questions, because remember that you're interviewing them too. Now for love, you have the Three of Feathers, or swords essentially, and the Ten of Cups. So my first thought when I saw that was someone likes it rough. But on a more serious note, expectations of perfection and what a perfect relationship is or means could be killing your love life or the potential for that. That's just for some people, but mainly this is talking about how we don't cherish what we haven't struggled for, new normals, and how new baselines are formed. Okay, so like there's so much, it's hard to describe because I'm seeing several things overlapping. I'm seeing a recent, for some of you, like a pain and pleasure thing, like the sweet and salty in life colliding. Like this specifically reminds me of someone I know who recently on their wedding day was experiencing a death in their family at the exact same time. So it's like these two worlds, it's like how the pain and the joy sometimes like just coincide. And also the other thing I'm seeing is like a recent upswing, going from a really painful low to a blissful high, a recent wish fulfilled, or a celebration of joy and family, and how happily ever after is just not a thing. And this card doesn't promise that. I know sometimes that's how readers read it, and it's just, it doesn't exist. It's not how I read it. Bliss exists in contrast. As a constant state, it is the same as nothing. So that's where that expectation of perfection is so toxic, because it isn't real. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble saying this. So the Ten of Cups, emotional bliss, exists in waves. And so the painful times define the blissful ones as blissful by contrast. So we tend to not cherish the things that have been handed to us the same as we cherish what we have struggled for. As we move up in happiness and get more and more, we adjust to that baseline. And so that contrast has to be kind of accepted as part of the process. The other thing I'm seeing here is it shows a bond forged in fire that is unbreakable when you realize this whole concept, I guess. I don't know, hopefully something in there made sense to you. It was kind of all over the place. So your bonus message, or affirmation I should say, it says, life happens, learn to go with the flow. Well, that is just about perfect with all this. So, all right, Scorpio, much love. I'll talk to you next month. Thank you.